Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda and this is my channel, Her Pacific Northwest Washington Life. And today is the start of the week 6 vlog, I think. I can never remember which one we're on. But today is also the start of the Book Lover Readathon, which is a readathon, the first of this year, hosted by Paige over at Creating & Co. And it goes through this Sunday. I started one of my books for the prompt of reread a favorite today, which is The Fellowship of the Ring, and I am buddy reading that with my friend Rainy over at Rainy Day Reads for the Lord of the Read-Along for this year. And we are doing about 65 pages a day, so whatever gets us to the nearest chapter. So it was the first and second chapter today. I forgot how long the chapters were. We as a family actually just rewatched the whole trilogy, so the story is very fresh in my mind, but it was fun to go back through and just kind of remember all the little details, like the fact that 17 years passed between Frodo getting the ring to when he goes on the journey to Mordor to destroy it. And I always forget, like, I know hobbits live a long time and they stay really young looking for a long time, but the fact that Bilbo started his journey at the age of 50 and then Frodo's now coming up on his 50th birthday and he's about to start his journey to Mordor and things like that. So it's really fun to just remember those little details. We went through Bilbo's birthday party, and then now Gandalf has just told Frodo about the backstory of the ring and what's needed to be done and how he has to go on a journey, and Samwise was caught eavesdropping because he heard them talking about elves, and I kind of forgot like how much Sam loved elves and stuff like that. So it's been really fun just listening to the first probably close to 2 hours of this book, I think, and just kind of reliving the story that way. So I am excited to get through tomorrow's section. I think that section stops just before we meet Tom Bombadil, or it might include Tom Bombadil, but I can't remember. I looked at it briefly when I was just trying to get a chapter breakdown. So that'll be really fun. I'll have more updates tomorrow. And right now I am just sitting on the couch. I'm gonna see how far I can get in The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I started this book last week. I am 43 pages into it right now. I think I'm gonna use it for the prompt of, I think, oh my gosh, I just completely blanked on all the prompts except for the one I need. I'm not doing the group read, which is the Guinevere Deception. It doesn't match the kit. It is a reread, but it's not a favorite. It does and doesn't contain a romance. That's not what I'm counting. Oh, reminds you of your love of reading. And that one definitely does because it's a fantasy. It's got the kind of slow, atmospheric, little whimsical-ish writing that I like. So that's where I am. Right now, Peter and his 2 oldest sons are in Moscow, where Peter is trying to find a wife because Vasa is being an unruly little child and she needs a mom. And Sasha has asked to join the monastery. Is that what it's called? I can never remember. And his father has agreed to it as long as he comes back and works the next harvest and has kind of time to think and remember that he loses his inheritance if he does. So that's where I'm at with that. So we're gonna see how far I get. And I think that's about it. There are some photo challenges as well that I am posting to my Instagram account. The first prompt was red, so I posted a picture of my TBR as well as a red scarf to kind of throw in that element. And then there's 3 other photo challenges for the rest of the week, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with those yet, but we'll figure that out as we go. So I think that's about it. I'm gonna get to reading now and probably eat some ice cream, and I probably won't check in again before go to bed and go to sleep. So I will definitely check in with you all tomorrow. I just wanted to do a quick reading update, just to find that the SD slot on my camera, my Sony, is broken. So now I can't get my SD card back in, and that literally just happened because I just took my SD card out to put files on my computer and went to put it back in to film this update, and it's broken. So I'll be writing an email to Sony just to let them know what's going on, and see what they can do for me. So thankfully I've got a GoPro, which I can use for the time being so that I don't have to use my phone, because I would not enjoy filming on my phone, I don't think. But reading update, I am through chapter 6 in Fellowship now, and Frodo has officially left Hobbiton, but he is now in the forest on his way towards Rivendell, the forest of Tom Bombadil, so he's not quite outside of the Shire just yet. So he just was going through the forest when the trees were being all pesky to the hobbitses and had Merry and Pippin wrapped up and weren't letting them go when Tom Bombadil walked on into the clearing and helped him out. So now they're going to his house for dinner and stuff like that. But the Black Riders are already following Frodo and his companions. And what I'm realizing is okay, so Sam is my favorite Hobbit of all time. I love Sam so much. And then my second favorite was Pippin, but upon the last rewatch that we just did, I think that I like Merry a lot better. And then upon rereading Fellowship, I definitely think that I like Merry a lot better than Pippin. So that's kind of fun to just be reminded of their characters and things like that. We are through chapter 6 today. I know Rainie's just a little bit behind. She had a busy day and not quite so much time to read. She was also had an audiobook that she was listening to, but it kept skipping. So she had to return that to her library. So now she's physically reading, but she'll be catching up with me tomorrow. I think tomorrow we might only have 2 chapters to get through. I mean, still about 65 pages each chapter, but overall not too bad. So really enjoying that. It's about 6 o'clock right now. I am going to eat a bowl of ice cream and read another chapter or 2 in The Bear and the Nightingale. I only read, I think, 3 chapters last night. So that's kind of where I am this evening so far. I think that's pretty much all of my update. Yeah, those are the only 2 books I have going at the moment. I'm still waiting to start A Court of Winks and Ruin until Darshell gets her next Audible credit, which is on the 8th, but also I want to finish The Bear and the Nightingale before I start reading A Court of Winks and Ruin, because those are both physical reads for me. One is an actual paperback book and the other is a Kindle book. So I don't want 2 books like that going at the same time right now. So I think that's going to be it for the evening. If you see this wobbling a little bit, it's because I'm shivering as I'm holding this. It's really cold in my house. We've had the pellet stove on all day, and I don't think I'm as big of a fan of pellet stoves as I thought I was. They just don't heat the house quite like a nice wood burning stove does, unless you have them on full blast, and that's just a waste of pellets. So I'm gonna go snuggle up on the couch with my pups and eat some ice cream, which doesn't help the whole being cold thing, but whatever. And then get some more reading in The Bear and the Nightingale done. So I will maybe check in tomorrow. I do have my violin lesson, so we'll see how that goes. I probably will check in just at least about fellowship, just to give an update on where we are now. I know the next chapter is all about Tom Bombadil, and I don't think we're quite to Rivendell with the next chapter after that, but I think maybe Strider comes into the picture, which I'm excited to just be reminded of his character a bit more as well. So that is it for right now, and I will check in with you sometime soon. Good morning. I meant to check in yesterday, but when I went to turn on the camera, the battery was dead. So I've got nice little update, I guess, for you all. I have made it into part 2 of The Bear and the Nightingale. I'm right now, I just finished chapter 12, so I'm in chapter 13, which is titled Wolves. This is going fairly well. I am about 40% of the way through this now. It's just slow going. But I definitely want to try and sit down and get a good chunk of, well, I want to get this finished by this weekend, but I want to get a good chunk read maybe tonight or tomorrow. We'll see when I have time. But definitely plan to have this finished by Sunday evening. And then I am in chapter 2 of book 2 in Fellowship. So right now, it's the Council of Elrond. So everybody in Middle Earth, like the important people we meet and follow throughout the rest of the story, are here learning about the history of the ring and what's been going on all across Middle Earth, and knowing that Sauron is coming to power again and looking for this ring. So going through just all of that information right now. This chapter is really long. It's like an hour and a half in the audiobook. So today we're only reading chapters 2 and 3, which combined are about 65 pages. So that's going really well. I'm still learning a lot of, not learning, but remembering a lot of details that I've forgotten since my past read, and that weren't captured in the movies. I still think the movies did an awesome job, but like one thing is that after Frodo gets stabbed by one of the ring wraiths, and goes into Rivendell, in the movie, Arwen is the one who gets him, but it's actually someone else, and I feel like Arwen doesn't play as big of a role in the books as she does in the movie. So that was kind of interesting to just remember and things like that. And then I haven't told you yet because I didn't vlog Wednesday or Thursday, but I started reading, listening to After Ever Happy, which is the 4th book in the After series by Anna Todd. And this book is so bad. I basically started it because on my drive home from my violin lesson, by the time I left my teacher's house, I only had 7 minutes left in the chapter 4 fellowship, and I knew Rainey was already behind, so I didn't want to keep going and then make her feel even more pressure to actually like read and catch up to where I was. So I started After Ever Happy, after, I don't remember what that title is, and it's just the same old drama and ridiculousness that the rest of the books have, but I've only got this book and Before left, and then I'll have the series finished. And it's kind of one of those like guilty pleasure reads. Like, it's not good, and the relationship is incredibly toxic. And as you read it, you just get so frustrated with both of the main characters. Like, one, Hardin for being the jerk that he is, and two, Tessa for just falling for his crap. So it'll be interesting to see how this one ends. Right now they're broken up, so we'll see how that goes. But that's my reading for right now. Definitely plan to have both of these done before the week ends, so that I can count them towards the Book Lover Readathon. I don't think I've actually talked much about that so far. This is a readathon hosted by Paige over at Creating & Co. It's the first of her 6 for this year. We do one every other month. And right now, Bear and the Nightingale is a reminder for my love of reading. A favorite reread is, both of these are actually rereads for me. Favorite reread, though, I put The Fellowship of the Ring. I need a book that contains romance and a book that matches the kit. And neither of these do that, so I probably won't get the kit one, but contains a romance. I guess I could go with Fellowship for Aragorn and Arwen. Because there's not really a romance in The Bear and the Nightingale. Like, there's married couples, but it's not what I would consider a romance. So I should be able to get at least 3 of the 5 prompts done. I'm also behind on photo challenges. I didn't do Sweet Treat because I ate all of my candy, so I didn't have anything really to put in a photo. So we'll see how that goes. I actually have a hankering for a donut right now, so I might leave and go grab a donut because I live right next to the store. So we'll see how that goes. But that's, I think, going to be it for my little update right now. So I will definitely try and check in before the end of today again, especially once I get more of Fellowship done and hopefully a good chunk of The Bear and the Nightingale as well. So I'll chat with you soon. So I thought I should talk to the camera again today. I am currently listening to today's section of Fellowship while making more flowers. And it's going pretty well. They're in Moria right now. They just found Balin's tomb, and they're reading through his book. So we've got our first big battle scene coming up here. Today is to read chapters 4, 5, and 6 of book 2. So I'm currently in chapter 5. So after that, I've got one more chapter for today. It's been a busy day so far. Sky and I ran to Lowe's this morning with my dad, because my dad's got a truck and we don't, to get 2 interior doors and some trim and doorknobs and things. Last spring we tore out all the carpet in our house and replaced it with a nice laminate flooring. And so before family comes up for our wedding and actually wants to see our house, we're trying to finish it up somewhat. And Maddie's bathroom door, or the hall bathroom door, bathroom hasn't had a door on it for quite some time. So I think he'll be really happy to finally have a door again and not just a shower curtain. So we're starting with that door and the laundry room door, because the laundry room is right across from my office. And if I run a load of laundry while I'm at work, it's really loud and obnoxious, and I can only close my door, which isn't ideal in the winter time because then the heat from the pellet stove doesn't reach me. So I asked if that could be a priority as well. We've only got 2 sections left to actually do flooring. We've got, just to the left of me is my bookshelves. So we've got under those that we have to do, and then in my office closet as well. So those will be next projects, or like during the week sort of projects. And then tomorrow, my dad and Sky are gonna hang the doors, the 2 doors that we got. So yeah, just kind of hanging out the rest of the day. Sky just went outside to change his oil, and my friend is coming over. She should actually be on her way, and she's just gonna hang out with me while I make flowers. And for the time being, I'm just gonna keep listening to Fellowship as I make these things. I've got 36 more of each layer. There's 7 layers total, so they make 36 flowers, and I've already got a dozen made, so I'll have 48 whenever I'm done with this batch. And then I'm also making carnations as well. I've got lots of DIYs that are needing to be done before our wedding in April. I decided that I was gonna, my dad is kind of picky on tie patterns. So my mom told him he needed to have a fun, like, Harry Potter themed tie. And I was looking for some on like Etsy and Amazon and stuff, and I just don't really like, they look handmade, which isn't bad, but I can make the tie myself, and then it'll be the exact fabric I want and things like that, and it's made with love, and not saying that they're not already made with love, but I would rather just pay the money to make it myself than I would to pay someone to make it for me. So I've got that project, and a lot of others as well. I need to make like gift boxes and stuff for favors. I also need to, some point soon, make a bunch of chocolate frogs and the Warner Brothers Studios version of Exploding Bonbons, and things like that. And then I need to figure out more logistical stuff. Seeing as we're getting married in springtime in Washington, I think we're probably going to need to get a nice big tent, which I'm debating on just buying one, because Amazon has some really inexpensive ones for a third of the price of what I would pay a company to rent from. And even then, I'd be stuck with a tent that I don't really need. I don't really fancy the idea of spending $300 to rent something when I could spend $100 and own it. I'm one of those types of people. So anyway, I don't know why that turned into a wedding update, but there you have it. I'm gonna keep making these flowers and keep listening to Lord of the Rings, and maybe check in later. I don't know what our plans are this evening. I'm not sure if my friend's gonna want to stay for dinner with us, if Sky's gonna want to watch a movie or what have you. So I probably won't check in again until tomorrow, probably when I close out this vlog, but we'll see. So I'll check in with you at some point. We are at the end of another week, and the Book Lover Readathon is now over. I only managed to finish one book for one of the prompts. I finished today The Fellowship of the Ring for the favorite reread prompt. It also could have worked for my love of reading reminder, but I had already filled in the Bear and the Nightingale there. And it doesn't match the kit. It contains a romance, kind of. The romance between Arwen and Aragorn isn't as prevalent in the books as it is in the movies. But I guess you have Galadriel and her husband, so that's kind of a romance. But I didn't include it in this, or for that prompt. So there's that. So it's 9 days into the month already, and that's my first book that I finished so far. But I've still got The Bear and the Nightingale I'm making progress in. I'm 118 pages in of just over 300. And then I've got about, I think, 8 hours left of After Ever Happy. So not too bad. I'd say I made decent enough progress for this week. I'm not super happy. I wish I had read more, but it works for me. I was also kind of busy, so it's fine. So next week is just a regular week. I don't have another readathon planned yet until March, which the whole month of March is going to be the Creating and Co-Shop Your Shelves Readathon, and it is the Irish Readathon. So I'll be participating in that, and I guess for the rest of this month, unless I find like a later readathon, the only thing I'll be doing is working on my February board. Oh, which I marked off 5 prompts with just the Lord of the Rings, so that's pretty cool. So right now I'm considered a light fae. So that's where I am with that. Yeah, I'd say so far productive week. I got the last of my paper roses for my wedding finished. I've got 48 of those now. So now I need to get working on the crepe paper carnations. Today Sky and my dad put in 2 of our hallway doors and put up a bunch of trim. So the house is starting to come back together again, which is nice. So overall busy day. Oh, and then I went to a couple furniture stores with my best friend today. So that was nice to just get out and about with her. But yeah, I would love to know if you also participated in the Book Lover Readathon. If you did, I would love to know what you read, what prompts you were able to accomplish, anything like that. And what your thoughts are. Oh, I guess I didn't go over my thoughts of Fellowship. As a reread for me, I gave it a 4-star rating. Whoops. I enjoyed my reread of it, though I think it might have been a little too close to when I watched the movie, because I noticed that my interest was waning a bit, just because I knew what was happening because it was so fresh in my mind. It was still really good to gain all the background information again, though, and all the things that they had kept out of the movies or changed from the movies. It was nice to be able to have a refresher of that. So I did enjoy this overall. And I'm looking forward to getting to 2 Towers next, but I don't know when that will be. Probably in March or at the end of this month. I'm not entirely sure. We'll find out. But yeah, I would, again, just love to know your thoughts over this past week, and I will chat with you down in the comments until my next video. Bye!